Bitcoin is the best treasury reserve asset humanity's ever had. Next on your 4-Minute Bitcoin. Today's show is from a post by Konstantin Kogan at Cointelegraph and brought to you by Swan Bitcoin. Around 3.6% of Bitcoin is locked up by institutional investors. 13 entities have amassed close to 600,000 Bitcoin, are worth approximately $6.9 billion. The list includes MicroStrategy at the top with 38,250 Bitcoin valued at about $450 million. Second on the list is Galaxy Digital Holdings with 16,651 Bitcoin worth about $198 million. Now, separately, some companies help their clients to invest in Bitcoin. One such company is Grayscale Investments through its GBTC Trust, which holds around 450,000 Bitcoin. With that stated, the amount of Bitcoin that publicly traded companies holds a tiny fraction of the corporate treasuries around the world. The actual amount of cash held in reserves is in the trillions of US dollars. But consider this. 9 companies in the S&P 500 are sitting on close to $600 billion in cash and short-term investments. And if just 5% of that amount is converted into Bitcoin, well, the price could easily increase 5-fold. Now, what about other assets? While real estate might seem like a great asset to hold as a reserve, it's susceptible to losing value through things like taxes. More importantly, real estate faces risks that come with changes in regulations or public governance. In the span of 100 years, it's highly likely that a government that respects private property ownership could be replaced with one that does not. Meanwhile, stocks also face risks of poor management and regulation changes. Even gold and other precious metals run into issues when you look at them in terms of 100 years. Now, while they appreciate over time, the logistics of holding them, well, that can be stressful. You could use third-party storage services such as commercial banks. But history has taught us that gold can get lost even there, especially during wartime or political upheavals such as revolutions. What about Bitcoin? Well, as for now, Bitcoin has no counterparty risks. In other words, we don't have to worry that the actions of a third party are going to lead to a significant loss of the asset's value. It's also protected from risks that might come from regulation or extreme change in government policies. The holders of Bitcoin are always going to be in complete control of their Bitcoin. Meanwhile, we are almost assured that its value will continue growing over the years as the supply is determined and the emission rate of new unit halves every 4 years. The increasing scarcity of Bitcoin is most likely going to drive its value up over time. Now, what do you think about companies buying Bitcoin? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments as always. And this episode of 4-Minute Crypto is brought to you by Swan Bitcoin. Now, I really do recommend Swan Bitcoin to all my friends, boomers and non-boomers, that are interested in Bitcoin. I'm an advisor to Swan, so of course, I think it's a great way to buy Bitcoin with dollar cost averaging and actually get yourself some skin in the game. It's really kind of amazing how quickly people start learning about Bitcoin once they get a little bit of skin in the game. Please use my referral link, swanbitcoin.com/Gary, and receive $10 worth of Bitcoin as a reward for signing up. I'm Gary Leland, the Bitcoin Boomer, and thanks for joining me on another 4-Minute Bitcoin show. This is a BitBlockBoom.com production.